First of all, thank you for being here. I know it's early. The party yesterday was awesome. I don't know how many of you were drinking too late, so I highly appreciate you being here this morning. And like I said, I'm Patty Toledo from Yahaha, and I'm going to be talking to you about tricks and cheats to grow a community using UGC and achieve growth and success, hopefully. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm the Director of Creator Relations from Yahaha. I know most of you don't have a clue who Yahaha is, and that's fine. I promise I will tell you by the end of this. I have been working with creative media for 30 years, and I always have the same joke, so please be kind and laugh that I say, I have been working in creative industry for 30 years, even though I look 20. I know. It's a pity that there is no mother's joke. There is only daddy's joke, but it works. I used to work with music before I went to games, and used to be an MMA fighter as well, which it's what make people usually look at me like exactly like that. And my other joke is, and I promise there are only 2 jokes in the whole presentation. My second joke is that I could beat you, even though I'm this big, but no, sorry. And I love music, I love fitness, and although again, it doesn't look like it, but trust me, and I love games in general. The structure of the call, the talk just for you I like talking about first, what is UGC, what are the advantages for you, what can you do, give you as much information as possible, make it as informative as possible. And then in the end, I tell a little bit about what we're doing. So I hate business talk, like marketing calls, like buy us. I hate this kind of thing. So I will try to give you as much information as possible from the upfront. And feel free to ask me questions. I will give time in the end for questions. I would love to talk to you and get questions. So I have never talked in Poland before, so I have no idea how shy you guys are. In Finland, it's horrible. Nobody asks questions. It's kind of, I hope you guys are more communicative. But if you're not, don't worry. I can talk for all of you for the whole day. So when I'm talking about UGC here, I'm talking about user-generated content. And although Yahaha is a user-generated content platform, I'm not talking only about us. I'm talking all about user-generated content, videos, YouTube things, TikTok, any social media, pictures, memes, anything that you can use that is made for and by the players and increases the engagement of the players with your games. Okay, so of course, UGC platforms are a really good tool for that, and that's what I'm gonna advocate with you in the end, but everything that I'm gonna talk here can be used for any kind of UGC, any kind of work that you do, okay? So why UGC? For a lot of developers, there is a big differentiation between what you do as a game developer and the players. For many, many years, there were this really big gap, like developers here, players here, the community managers in between. Most of the developers never talked to the players. It's almost they spoke different languages. This doesn't exist anymore. Nowadays, if you want to be successful, you really have to connect with the community, and you really need to build the community from the start. And UGC allows you to do that because it gives a sense of ownership to the players more than just buying and playing the game. It really gives them a sense of emotional connection with the game, of being part of the development team, having a voice when they are talking with the developers. It really bridges the whole sentiment. And as you can see, I never follow anything that I write, but we go for that, right? You really want your players to be as active as possible. If you would analyze games that have been extremely successful, it doesn't matter if it is mobile, console, PC, the ones that speak louder are the ones that have a very strong community talking for them. Not only the developers talking, but the community talking for them, okay? And if I run too much, you can tell me to slow down. It's just I'm very conscious of the time, and I have a lot to share. So why does that improve the chances of success? I don't know. I wanted to ask, how many of you are starting game development? How many? Cool, show of hands, thank you. How many of you are very seasoned game developers, like years and years of experience? Cool. How many of you don't do game development at all but would love to? Cool, so we have like a good mix of everything. When you start working, it doesn't matter if you're experienced or not, when you start working on a new game and a new product that you want to bring to your players, it's a very, like, it's really uncertain, it's really hard, well, game development sounds like really fun work. It's really hard, especially because making the game is only a part of the work. You have to be able to acquire players, to create this connection, to make money out of it, because if you don't make money out of the games, how do you make your second game and your third game? When you're working with UGC and you're creating the community from the beginning, you are making it easier for you to have everything that you have to have after the game development, right? Like, it makes it easier to do user acquisition, it makes it easier to do marketing, because the community is already there. The best marketing you can ever make is the marketing that you don't have to make, is the market that your players make, is the market that of your community. People will not believe your sales pitch, but they will believe their friends, and they will believe their peers about the quality of your game, right? The other thing that is really hard when you're working in game development is if you have a team. Like, it's already hard to find a good team. It's already hard to find the right people that you want to work with. But once you did all that, everybody in the team has different ideas. They have different culture, different experiences. What they think the game design that is perfect for the game is different, and that varies. And then there is an extra layer that is, what if you're making a game that is what you like, but not what the audience likes? When you're going to talk to publishers and investors, the first thing that they are going to ask is, what is the market for this game? So not only you have to try to make the game that you love, you have to try to make the game that has a market and a game that is going to sell. It's super complicated. But when you are working with the community from the beginning, you make it easier. Not only because you have a proof of concept to show to your publishers and investors that the community is there and that they love your idea, you also make sure that they love your idea. You make sure that whatever you are doing fits what they want. After all, we make games because we want the community to be happy, right? Like, we want this balance between doing something that we love and doing something that everybody will love as well. That's the whole point. And UGC can help you quite a lot on that. Ta-da. So this is all good and great, but I imagine you're all thinking, how the heck do I build a community? I don't know anybody, I have no money, and maybe some of you have a lot of money. If you are, good for you. But the great majority of indie developers have no money or this much money. So it's really hard to think, like, how do I do this? First of all, start from your comfort zone. Start from what you know. Start from this. Conferences like that are awesome because it allows you to get your game and showcase to other people and get their feedback right away and slowly start building this community. Because if I'm playing, and I'm going to use you as example, sorry about that, but I play his game and I love it. So of course I'm going to tell all my friends about his game because I thought I loved it. Maybe I know people from media as well, and I'm going to talk about his game, and they will talk about his game. And then it goes, and it goes. It's like a wave. So you can start from this, from things that you know, from communities that you know, from events that you know, from your friends, from your family. After that, you go further and further. You actually start using communities that are different from what you know, social media. Start making it a little bit broader. And that's something that is the scary part, because for you to make the community broader, you have to learn how to share. A lot of game developers, they are really scared to share their ideas. First thing that I hear a lot, and I'm old, so I have heard that a lot, is, oh, no, no, I cannot share my idea because otherwise other people will steal it. Let me tell you one thing. Nobody's going to steal your idea. If I steal your idea and I make the game that you pitch to me, it's already not your game, because there is no way I can pick your brain and understand 100% what you were going to do and do exactly that. When we make a game, we put a lot of ourselves into it, a lot of the people we know, the experiences we know. So it's not that. It's not a copy anymore. Plus, this is game industry. Have you ever been to China? They will copy you. Have you ever been to Russia? They do the same thing. So learn to share, learn to open, learn to talk about what you're doing. Nobody's going to steal. Don't be overprotective. It's fine. Believe me. You get more from sharing than people can take away from you, right? The other thing is create incentives for your community to share. If you want to use UGC, for example, you want to do memes, you want to do videos, you have to create something that makes it fun for people to create trends. Like make little competitions. Like if you have a really cool game and cool idea, you can say like, why don't you create your own character out of things? And if I really like your character, I'm gonna incorporate that in the game. Like the best meme, we are gonna use this idea. The whole trick is make the people think that they are part of your team. In a certain level they are, not in the level that they think, but they are still part of your team, right? And remember that it's always about them. Games is about the players, not about you. Like, you guys know a lot about game development because you are game developers, but how many players do you think know who is the company behind 100% of the games that they play? A lot of people don't even know who the developers are. They know the game, they don't know the developers. So remember that. Take the ego out of the equation and make it about them, right? Oh, and I love this and that. There's no such thing as build as they come and they will come. I love the Field of Dreams idea. I had developers turning to me and saying, no, I'm gonna make this game and people will love it. And they will come and play because they love it. Imagine like there are like 100,000 games being released every day. It's really hard for them to say. So keep the community in mind at all times. Then, there is other advantages of UGC, and now we're gonna go one layer deeper, which is, when you make a game, it's great, you release, the audience is there, is awesome. For a lot of games, more mobile, PC is less, but you still have, there is a lot of live ops that you have to do. There is a lot of DLCs, follow-up. You have to keep your community engaged, because otherwise what happens is you sell a lot in the beginning, and then slowly the game fades away. And you put too much effort, too much time, too much love in a game development to just let it die. If you're using UGC with your games, the game will never die, because the players will create other things. And in this case specifically, I'm talking a lot about mods, UGC in the sense of mods. It can be a really interesting way to make a game last forever, to allow the players to bring your games further. So I highly recommend you think about that when you're developing. This can be as simple as making your assets available in a UGC platform so people can create new iterations of that. So that can be really interesting. The other thing that I didn't write it here, but I'm gonna say, when you put, for example, again, I'm using the examples of putting your assets in a UGC platform, you create a second level of monetization. I imagine most of you are PC developers, because I know Poland really loves their PC development. But mobile is also the same. when you're doing a development, you usually, if you're doing PC, you sell the game once and that's it. If you do a DLC, maybe you sell something else, but that's it. That's the money you're gonna get out of your players. But if you're allowing them to do mods, they are gonna buy your assets, which means you continue making money. Not only they will be talking about your game, they will know your game, they will want to go buy your game if they didn't do before, but they are also giving you extra resources to create the next game. So just an idea out there, it can be quite interesting. But the thing I love the most about the mods is the connection. Again, every time we're talking about UGC, I'm talking about making the community connected, making the players closer to you, and breaking that breach between development and players. And I'm talking a lot, yeah. A few advice. If advices were good, I would sell them, but I'm still gonna give you a few ones. One thing is, communication is key. Do not treat your players as stupid people. They are not stupid. They know more about games nowadays than you would imagine that they do. If it was like 20 years ago, players were like, they knew what was on the screen. They had no idea how things were developed. Nowadays, they do know. They know a lot about game development because they have resources to do it themselves. They have been playing games all their lives. There are generations and generations of people that play games. So be always very open, very honest. Do not treat your players as stupid. They are not stupid. They know better. And they will call you out on that. The other thing is, be very clear, be very kind. Like, imagine that although the players know a lot about games nowadays, they don't have your technical knowledge. They are not in the same career as you. Be kind to them. Be communicative at all times. One thing that I really love is the localize yourself. Like, even talking here, every country has their different ways, their different culture. Maybe what I find funny, you guys don't like. Maybe like we have different personality on things. When you're releasing a game is worldwide, which means you will have people from all sorts of cultures, ages, types playing your game. When you're talking to them, remember that, because they might not see things the same way that you do. And if the best way to treat that is to localize yourself, is to really think outside of yourself and try to be as connected with them as possible. Okay? And say, community is king. I know I use the word community more than players, because players and users, first that users, I don't know if you guys agree, but users sound to me so much like a drug thing. Like, they are not users. And players is a very passive word. I think the community is more than just players nowadays. They are more active than that. But the community is king. You guys will achieve success because of the community, one way or another. It doesn't matter if you connect with them or not. They are the ones making you successful, right? And try to create as much as possible the loyalty. I know a lot of people talk about financial loyalty, the whales, the people that pay for the games. It's great. But there is a thing that is more important to that, which is the emotional loyalty. You want that community that will not consume not only this game that you have, they're going to consume every game that you make. This is the dream, is when you have a community that is so loyal that it doesn't matter what you develop, they want to check, they are going to give you feedback, they want to work with you. That's what you want, because once you get that, then you have a path to success and to independency when working, right? So, I don't know, how am I with time, Chinese? Huh? Oh, okay, cool. So I promise 3 minutes, I'm gonna talk about what we are doing. Bear with me, I swear it's really fun. So we are, and I will have to jump think because I had a lot more to do, but I actually talked all of this now. So first I wanted to play a really quick trailer for you, and then I'm gonna talk about what we're doing. Oh yeah, now it's gonna start playing. I like you to see more than, so while I'm talking, I'm gonna let it play in the background. So what we are creating is a UGC social platform where people can come and create 3D multiplayer games without needing any code and without needing any previous knowledge. It's in alpha, so what you're seeing here, and I didn't play, so you're not seeing anything. What you're seeing here is the alpha, so it's the early alpha of it. It's gonna get a lot better than this. What is the good thing that is for game developers? Because you can create your own games, you don't actually need us. But this can be a tool for you to allow the community to grow. For example, you can create your prototype in the platform and test the idea before you start the development, so you can see how the community responds to that. Like I said before, you can upload your 3D art and monetize it. You can test iteration with them, and not in the alpha, but later on, you're gonna be able to also port your games in it and be another platform for you to connect with your players. The advantages of this is that it makes no competition with anything else that you are doing, because you can use us plus Steam, plus Google Play, plus everything. The platform is not only multiplayer, but also it's multi-platform. It works on PC and all the mobile devices, so people, when you publish, you can do in both ways. The publishing is immediate. The moment you click, it published. You don't need any time to do it. And my favorite part is it's free. You don't have to pay anything. It will never cost you anything. Our idea is exactly the opposite. We want to pay you. We don't want, that's the whole point, is to help developers like you being successful. Right? I will jump. I swear to God, there is a video of this you can see, but in the 3 minutes, she's gonna kick me out. And we have a really big community for an alpha. It's really small for us, but it's really big for everybody else. We have about 3,500 people playing in the platform at the moment. We have a lot of really fun events going on. And these are all creations from our creators, it's not ours. They made things. And these are some of the comments that they have been doing. Yep, I will just say bye, and that's it. So the only thing I wanted to say is, if you guys want to connect with me, this is all creations as well. If you want to connect with me, you can use Discord, or you can talk to me outside, or you can just send me an email. And I'm really sorry, like 25 minutes go really fast. I hope it was a good presentation, and I'm happy to talk to all of you as long as you want. Thank you.